Welcome back, everyone. We have good old shiny Eevee here helping us with customizing this Game Boy Color. So the issue with this Game Boy Color, I don't know if you can see around the screen, it's kind of like the edges of it are weird. It's like you have this nice little oval of the viewing port, and then it's kind of losing color along the sides. So we're going to be replacing that. So we'll start off by removing the 6 tri-point screws, which there are 2 on the top, 2 in the middle, and 2 in the battery compartment. Then with all the tri-point screws removed, we can just remove this, flip it over, and take a look at that board. This one actually looks pretty clean inside. Has a few spots from probably flux from soldering or something at one point, but overall it doesn't look that bad. So then taking a Phillips screwdriver, we have these 3, oops, I just bumped it, these 3 screws to remove from here. Then with those screws removed, we'll remove our power toggle, put it to the side. Then we want to lift up on these little parts by the ribbon cable. So then we can remove the ribbon cable. And then just grab the board by the connectors and lift it up. Like I always say, anytime I have any of these apart, I always use isopropyl alcohol at least 91% and Q-tips and get all these little connectors just wiped down. Oops, let's take that off. And get those wiped down too. Just make sure when it's all put back together, there's a nice clean connection there. You just take it and just kind of go along here and get these areas all shiny. And then the speaker, it never hurts giving that a little wipe off too. Just be gentle when you're going around the speaker, getting it cleaned up. So we have a replacement screen. It's a FunnyPlaying screen. Most important part is to take it out of here carefully. It does have a screen protector on, so fingerprints don't really matter. Then you want to flip the board over and connect the ribbons in there. Then when the ribbons are in, you push down on these little tabs. Then we'll take the back of the shell and put it back over here. This is the test phase. Anytime you get one of these screens, you want to test it. Then we'll get batteries in there and then carefully toggle it on. That screen's looking pretty nice already. Anytime you purchase one of these screens from one of the bigger name places, they'll actually have instructions that you need to follow to cover the warranty. But usually what they involve is not bending the ribbon at all. You do not install it, you just kind of set it up like this and test it out. And a lot of times it'll be about that 20 to 30 minutes that you want to test it, just to make sure there aren't any dead pixels that pop up or it starts having weird issues on the corners, anything like that. So then after it's tested and everything looks good on it, then you can go ahead and turn the system off and then remove the batteries. Then with the back off, we will lift these up again. So we have those little tabs lifted up and we'll pull the ribbon out. For this part, we just kind of set the board to the side. So we're actually going to say bye to Eevee for now because I don't want to get any solder on him, which leaves us with our little ugly yellow board. Now, since we know this works, what we want to do next is this little area right here. You can lift that part up and it pops off, and then you can remove this part of the screen. And then the actual screen display part, you just put to the side. So now we have the ribbon part of the display, and what we're going to want to do is pre-tin the STA and the SEL spots on this side, and also the PWR spot on the other side. Because those ones, that is power, and then those are start and select. Because this FunnyPlaying screen has functionality when you hold the start and select buttons down, it actually has a menu that comes up that you can adjust different settings. So you can do this part however it works best for you. I'm going to be putting a little bit of captain's tape right there at the top to hold that in place easier. Then you're going to hear a little bit of noise. I'm turning the exhaust fan on for the soldering. Then we'll get a little bit of solder right here on this dot and this dot. This screen came with 2 long wires and 1 short wire. So we are going to take the 2 long wires and hook them in going that direction on each of these. So we'll get the start one in place and then the select one in place. Okay, and I usually give a little tug on each of these and make sure that they are in there well, so those seem to be good. Then we'll lift this up, remove the captain's tape, flip it over, put the captain's tape back down, and then add a little dot of solder onto the power area. So let's be getting a little dot right here. And because of where this short wire has to go, it's important that you have the wire come out of this side. It'll be going to the right of the power. We'll just get this one put in place, and then give that a little tug. That seems good. Then we can remove this from here and get rid of our captain's tape. Then we have Evie back here to help out for a bit. So our new shell for this display, because this is one of the displays that actually has the screen attached to it. So you can customize a case to work with it, but it's difficult and there's a chance it will actually not work correctly. So it's recommended to get one of these shells that's actually made for these bigger screens. So FunnyPlaying does provide a protective sticker to apply to the back of this. So let's go ahead and peel this off of here. If you watch any of my other videos, you know I am terrible at the sticker part, but I'll do what I can to try to get this on here. There we go. That's not that bad. No one's going to see it, so no one will see that little bubble there, but it's just supposed to help protect the back of this. Then what we'll do is remove these two parts over the sticky tape. The first one, I just have to use a tool to get these off because of my huge meat hooks. So then we'll take this and you slide that part down in there and then lay everything back. And it just kind of hooks in place. And since there's a screen protector, you can kind of push on the sides there gently and it's not really going to matter. So the next part, we'll put the buttons and the silicone membranes in place. Then with the buttons in, we have these goodies to put in there. That's cool. It looks like they gave an extra one. I will not complain about that. There we go. So then the next step is to hook this part back in place. This little thing down here can actually be kind of annoying to connect into, which is probably good. There's this protective cover here because you kind of move that around quite a bit on here. I don't know, I have so many issues with that one, but yeah, it took me probably about 5 minutes to actually get that hooked in place correctly. If you have any secret of how to do that, then let me know in the comments on how to do that easier. So then we'll kind of level that out and hook our little blue tape on over there. Then this next part, you kind of want the board right next to the shell for this one, because we're going to be getting these cables hooked up on here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the soldering fan back on. I think Evie will be safe this time. So there are a couple options here. The ones I always use, they're the easiest ones to do. It's this P13 for start and P12 for select. I don't remember exactly which one it is. You could find it online, but there are some like up here that you can actually connect the start and select to. I'm going to pre-tin the start and select ones, P13 first, and then P12. And then the one that goes to start up here, we'll grab that and hook it into P13. And the one for select, we'll hook into P12. And I like to take a little bit of captain's tape and just make sure those wires don't accidentally go across any of these. Then with that in place, we will flip this over and get the speaker and everything aligned in here. Oh, one note at this spot. This shell and everything is going to be perfect with the red LED, but if you are wanting to replace the LED, it's a 3mm one, and the positive part of the connector is nearest the edge of the board. So if you're wanting to replace that, make sure it's the right size, a 3mm, and that you have the power on the closest side to the edge of the board. I recently did one that was blue and yellow, and we actually replaced the LED with a yellow one. It looked pretty cool. Kind of wish I would have recorded that one. Then after this is flipped over and in place, make sure to get the ribbon put in place. Then once the ribbon's in there, push down on these little tabs on the side. Then just because the buttons are kind of pushing the board up a bit, we're going to put these 3 screws in really fast. The nice thing about these FunnyPlaying shells is they come with brand new screws. You just have to find the 3 Phillips ones out of here, and put them in these 3 spots where there's circles. Which if my hand got in the way, there's one there, and one there. So in the next part, right by the power toggle, there's a letter C. That is where this power cord is going to run. So I'm going to treat it with a little extra solder really fast. Then we'll take the cable and hook it on into place. And just give that cable a little tug. Okay, seems to be good. And then connected to the ribbon is this little part. This is a sensor that you have on the top, so that's double-sided tape. We'll want to remove that and just attach it right here on the inside. So then with that tape part removed, there we go. And we have that attached inside now. So then 2 more parts we need to put on here. We have our power toggle, and then our little cover up here. Then with everything in place and the power turned off, we'll put the back cover on. Pop that off so we can line everything up in there. Then the final part is putting in our 6 screws again. 2 on the top, 2 in the middle, and 2 in the battery compartment. Then we'll toss our batteries in. Well, I was going to toss batteries in, but I just realized this part's missing over here. So I don't know if they'll be the same size, but I'm going to take the one out of the old shell and see if it will fit inside there. Okay, got that popped out. Hopefully that will slide on in here. Perfect. Snapped right on in. Okay, now to try batteries out in here. So just so you know, that's normally not an issue. This is the first time I've actually ever had that problem. But they have good customer service there too. So if you ever have any issues, you don't really have to worry about it at Handheld Legend. And let's see how this looks. So this specific screen, if you hold down Start and Select, you have a menu where you can change settings from there. And the way you navigate between things is like hold down Start, display 1. If I just press Start, then it just kind of goes through different displays on there. You go to the right by holding Start, you go to the left by holding Select, and then it's just a quick press on it to change that setting. There's some different colors they have. You can even adjust the RGB on there. But since it's a white shell with the red on there, we'll leave that as white. And then the other thing this has, that sensor we put up top, you can change the brightness on there. And if you hold down long enough on there, you also have that setting menu comes up. So there we go. We have our nice little Game Boy Color here. If you enjoy watching these videos, then please make sure to subscribe. And if you like how this looks and everything, leave a thumbs up. Let me know what your favorite color combinations are that you've worked on with these systems. Now, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day.